Hey guys, it's SD, your host of the Life Picks Relationship podcast, where people with all sorts of backgrounds, challenges, and life experience show us how they make their relationship extraordinary. Hey guys, we're here this week with Hudi Greenberger. How are you?
Good. Thanks for having me.
You want to tell us a bit about yourself and what you do?
Sure. So I'm a commercial photographer. I specialize in food products and architecture. I love to shoot food. That's my main thing. I'm a big foodie. I love to cook. And then do a lot of architecture as well. Not really real estate photography, more like shooting for interior designers and builders and kitchen people and, that kind of stuff. And products I do as well. It's actually how I got started in commercial photography. That's more like Amazon sellers or ads or different things that are people, e-commerce kind of stuff. I do that just to fill in the gaps.
So how long are you doing this for?
I'm not sure. 9 years, 8 years, I'm not sure. I noticed LinkedIn told me I'd been doing it for 10 years, but I'm not sure if it was really that long. Probably about 8 or 9.
Cool. And how long are you married for? 15, you said?
Yep.
Wow. And how many kids?
5.
Okay, so what makes your relationship extraordinary?
With who?
With your wife?
Oh, my wife. For that relationship. Interesting. So we have a fantastic relationship, thank God. We are both very calm and very relaxed. Although if you met my wife, you would not think so. She's a blast and she's a ball of fun. But when it comes to like emotional stuff, she's extremely even-tempered and she's very easygoing and she's understanding. And we both have this incredible thing that we always are, no matter how upset or excited or whatever we are, we're always very good at listening to the other side, not waiting to the other person to finish so that we could say our piece, but actively listening to the other person's thing so that each of us could properly express what we need to express.
Was it always like that?
We definitely have it kind of naturally, but both of us, but for sure we both work on it. I mean, it has to be. You can't be married happily for 15 years without working on it. It just doesn't happen like that. And it's like anything. I mean, the people ask me like, "Oh, you're so talented. You're for photography. I'm a musician also, and I do all these things." You can be talented or have something naturally from today till tomorrow. If you don't work on it, it's worthless. So yeah, we might have this natural tendency to, to be able to put our own emotions on the side and listen to what the other person has to say because they're human also. But at the same time, it definitely takes a lot of strength and practice to be able to do that.
When challenges do happen, how do you get through them?
Really, that's what it is. It's really just listening to the other side and understanding that the same way you have an opinion, they have an opinion as well, going about it like that. And it's having enough vulnerability to know that sometimes you're wrong. And even if right now you think you're right, because you're in the beginning stages of the conversation, hearing the other side's half of the conversation, you might say, hey, you know what? That's a pretty valid point right there.
Did you know that you had this trait? Did you have it with other people? Or was it something that you only realized how special it was when you got married?
I would say for myself, for sure. Yeah, for both of us, we didn't know this about each other. Maybe that's what attracted us to each other. I don't know, but I know I definitely had it. I remember in yeshiva, you have a chavrusa always, and that's a good test for relationships because you have your shtickle thing that you want to say, and you don't care what the other guy has to say for himself, right? You're just waiting for him to shut up so that you get your point across, right? I was never like that. I would always really try to understand, and ask questions so that I made sure I understood what they were saying, because maybe what they said is valid and I'm wrong. It's very possible. So
Did you ever feel taken advantage of and walked all over?
oh yeah, absolutely. It took me a long time to learn how to say no.
So with your wife, you didn't have that because she's also like that?
No, she's much stronger than I was. What I had to learn was how to be strong. She had to learn how to be more vulnerable, and I had to learn how to be more strong.
So that's the difference. Any other difference between the two of you that you like?
Oh, there's a million differences.
What's your favorite one?
Favorite difference? Well, I'm actually I would say I'm on the quieter side, and she is loud and the life of the party type.
So why do you like that so much?
I was always attracted to people like that. All my friends in high school and everything, they were all my close friends were all much louder than I am, because maybe I saw myself as wanting to be like that, but not having the ability to do that. So I need to attach myself to those type of people.
Did you become louder by being with them?
Absolutely, more of a confidence rather not loud, but confidence. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So is there a similarity between the two of you that you love?
We're both extremely musical. Our kids are off the charts, and similarity. I mean, that's really that similarity that we really bond and really connect is that ability to really listen to each other and really work things out together.
So is that what attracted you to her as soon as you met her?
I have no idea. That was 15 and a half years ago. Who knows what some 22-year-old kid was thinking? I certainly don't.
So how has your relationship changed in the past 15 years?
It's certainly gotten stronger, as we both became more mature, and we've gotten a lot closer since we started.
What have you been able to do because of your relationship?
Together, you mean?
Or you as a person because of being married?
Okay, so I mean, overall, as you get older, your confidence, just naturally, that's what happens when we're both very growing people. We're always constantly working on ourselves, and we love sharing information that inspired us, and books and articles and blurbs and whatever. So that's definitely a big part of the process. It's just overall, I mean, like I was always super shy, and like growing up, like if people that like knew me well, okay, the ones that really knew me well 20 years ago knew me, so they knew I wasn't really like quiet and lack of self-confidence type. But like I myself, for sure, like I always felt like I was like this quiet. It wasn't like a lack of self-confidence. It was more like scared, I guess you'd call it, especially around boys or boys my age. I always felt like I was the kid who wasn't as cool as everybody else, and that just changed over the years, meaning I just don't care anymore. And that's ironically, that's actually what confidence is I had this great quote, see if I remember it. Confidence is not walking into the room and knowing you're going to rock it. Confidence is walking into the room and not caring what the other people think.
I like that.
So that's definitely something that I gained quite a bit over the years.
Do you think your job affected that also?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, at Brucksham, I'm pretty well known for what I do. Pretty high end.
Fantastic work, yeah.
Yeah, thank you. So, I mean, when you're successful at something, that definitely, helps your confidence. And this is not the first thing I've been successful with. So, I've done music, and I do lots of other stuff on the side. The Gabbai and my shul. So, all these things combined.
Do these things ever affect your relationship?
Photography, I mean, like any business owner that's a self-employed business owner. I mean, if I wasn't talking to you right now, I'd be editing.
Yeah.
So, I was actually in the middle of editing. I try as hard as I can, especially these days, to not let it take away from family life, meaning like when work is over, work is over.
So when's work over?
So, well, let's call it the break in between work and work. So, meaning let's say my day ends at like somewhere between 5:30 and 6:30, a shoot will end. So that's it. Now I'm with my kids. Now I'm with my family. And then the little ones are usually in bed by, just now, by about 9 o'clock, they're done. And the bigger kids kind of take care of themselves towards the end of the night. So I don't have to worry about them, but although usually I am, either schmoozing or they both play music. So we jam together sometimes. Taught my oldest how to record. So that's awesome. So she's busy recording all her friends and stuff. A lot of fun. So we do some stuff together every now and then. So like between 9 and 10:30, usually if I have some project that I need to get finished up, that's when I get it finished up, editing wise.
So then 10:30, you're done working for the night.
I'm usually sleeping by 10:30. I go to bed early, so I'm up early. So.
Can I ask you what time you wake up?
Yeah. Okay. I'm a little off schedule now because since January I started DOF, and that completely threw my morning schedule off. Usually I was at the gym by 25 every morning. Now I can't do that anymore. So the gym is coming home now. I'm waiting for some equipment to show up, and we're doing a home gym. Small, nothing fancy, like cheap equipment, but doing a home gym. So that would mean that I'm back up at 6:50.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So what's the best relationship advice you've ever gotten?
Good question. Something specific. Let's see. One thing that's about me is I have a terrible memory. So it's more like inspiration things that I'll remember, like that quote that I mentioned before, like stuff like that.
That's memory.
No, but it's more like meaning pulling stuff out, like 3 specific things. I don't know. I've heard a million things over the years. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like what did you hear yesterday? That's a relationship advice you'll say now.
I got to think about that one. That's I don't have anything off the top of my head.
So what's one thing you're always arguing about?
We never argue.
Never argue, ever.
Ever.
Did you ever argue, like in the beginning of your relationship?
Very rarely.
How do you do that?
That's where we're going back to what we were starting with in the beginning, that we have this thing about being able to listen to the other side without interjecting and without like actively listening. Not, like I said before, not just waiting till the other person finishes what they say so that you could say what you want to say, but actively listening and really taking in what the other person's side is. And it's okay to disagree. You're two different people coming from two different backgrounds. And, obviously there are some, big things. Should we move? Should we not move? That's something you can't just disagree about and be okay with the disagreement because, one way or the other, something's going to happen, whether you're action or non-action. So that's something that you need to work out together. But for your random everyday stuff, what should we have for supper? Who cares? It's like stuff is not that important. If you look 5 years ahead, how important this conversation is usually not that important. If it is a big deal, like right now, we haven't had the time to sit down and discuss it, but I really want to sell our house and move closer to the shul, and she really wants to stay because the neighbors, the kids have become very close with the neighbors, but I really feel like we're growing out of our house, and definitely 5-10 years down the line, we're going to be it's not big enough. I wouldn't say it was a mistake to buy it because it's been incredible we live in Tom's River now, and we're here almost 4 years. We were here from the beginning of the community, like literally the shul. We were one of the first 10 people in the shul, so it's been incredible. Definitely wasn't a mistake, but we are absolutely growing out of it. Like we didn't think far down the line ahead of us when we bought a house that only had 4 bedrooms. So we assumed we were going to be able to redo the basement, and now we're realizing that it's going to be like $100,000 to redo the basement. So that's not happening.
Yeah. Do you apply the 5 love languages to your relationship?
Oh, I love that book. Yeah. I very much like the book. We both read it. We both enjoyed it. We both talked about it. The thing is that, and he talks about it, is that the love language change. Definitely have over the years. There's no question about that. It's a tough topic to talk about because, and maybe this goes back to one of our earlier parts of our conversation, is that a lot of people, and definitely people that are having problems in their marriage, they're expecting something out of the relationship, and you can't. You cannot expect something out of the relationship. If you get it, awesome, but your job is to give. So the love languages thing, it's just another aid in how to give. But if you're a giver, you're a giver, and if you're a taker, you're a taker. And obviously, you can change that once you're aware of it. But the love languages are a great way to help you learn how to give to somebody else. But if you're reading it because, oh, this is who I am and this is what I need, sometimes self-discovery is great because then you can express that to your spouse. But I feel like a lot of people that I've spoken to about it, they were more like, oh, how come I don't get this? This is what I need. No, wrong. You did not read the book the right way. This is reading the book so you can know how to give. And then when they want to be able to give back, and he actually, now that I'm remembering, he actually talks about this in the book, right? When you're giving and giving and giving and giving, naturally, there's a human tendency called reciprocity that people want to give back. So that happens automatically. And when they're ready for it, they can read the book and get what they need out of it.
Yeah, that's extremely important. What advice would you give to someone who wants to have an extraordinary relationship?
Just be open-minded. Listen to the other person. You're not a taker, you're a giver. And
What if someone is a taker?
everyone by nature, humans are takers. So but some people naturally know how to give, maybe because of the way they were raised or whatever. Some people just have that naturally, even without being raised that way. But it's something that needs to be learned. Even something you have naturally needs to be worked on.
Yeah, like you said earlier, if you have a talent and you don't use it, it's as if you don't have it. So same here, if someone's naturally a giver but doesn't practice it, they're not going to be a giver. Great. Thank you so much. It's been awesome having you on.
Have you ordered the Genius Relationship online course yet? If not, you're missing out. Experts in the field share their top secrets on how you could take your relationship to the next level, how you could understand your partner, how you could connect and deepen your relationship. Go to geniusrelationships.com now to learn more about it and get your COVID-19 special today. Link in the show notes. Did you enjoy that episode? Could you do me a personal favor and subscribe and leave a review? It would mean a lot to me. Thank you so much and have an awesome day.